Marilyn San Clemente of Stamp with Marilyn, and welcome to my creative playground. Today I have been prepping for my Christmas in July class, and last year I purchased the set Reason for the Season and the coordinating punch that goes with it, and due to unforeseen circumstances I was not able to use the set. So I'm going back through and I'm trying to use some of the sets that I've purchased but I've never used. So these are a couple of poinsettias that I made, and I love the poinsettias with this. I love poinsettias, period. So I really love these cards. I'm doing this card with 3 different shades of pink, with the Pink Pirouette, the Flirty Flamingo, the new pink, and I'm also doing it with Blushing Bride. So let's get started. This set has both the leaves and the poinsettia, and what I'm doing is I'm using these petals to actually make the poinsettia. So I've used this on the garden green to stamp leaves. So that's garden green ink on garden green paper, and then I stamped 8 of the same image, and I'm going to use that for the large petals. So I've stamped 8 of those. I have stamped 4 of the medium flower petal, 2 of the double petal. So now I'm just going to start punching. And what I found with this is, because you're punching 3 things at once, so for example with the medium flower, you need to start on the left hand side. So then my paper is going to look like that because it's going to get all chewed up. So out of here I'm going to pull my 4 medium leaves for flower petals. Okay, so we're going to punch the big ones, and again we're starting from the left and we're going to work our way right. Now I just have to punch the 2 in the middle. So the thing about this one is you need to make sure that you stamp these far enough apart so that you're not punching through the image that you want. And that's it for the punching. So I have 2 of the double pieces, I have 4 of the medium petal, and I have 8 of the larger petal. I want to give these a little bit of dimension. As you can see, I've done that here. So I'm going to just kind of fold very lightly with my finger, like this. And then I'm going to use my sponge, and I'm going to sponge the edge of these to give a little bit more depth to these leaves and to add a little bit more color. So this is Blushing Bride paper with Blushing Bride ink, and I'm just going to sponge the edges. Okay, now the fun part, we get to start gluing. So for this, you could use either a glue gun, or you can use the new fine tip glue pens, which is what I've used. You want to punch a circle. I use the 1 1/4 inch circle punch. You could use the 1 inch. It doesn't really matter what size you use because it's going to be hidden behind your poinsettia, but that's what you're going to use to build your flower on. And I want the pointed end of the petal to be out. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little ring of glue around, and I probably put a little bit too much glue, but we'll see. And I'm just going to line these up. I'm going to line up 4. Oops, wrong way. Yep, I did use too much glue. But since I'm using my silicone mat, the glue will not stick to the table, and it will not stick to the paper. Okay, so that's the first layer, and then I'm going to put just a little bit of glue on the top of each petal. And now I'm going to overlap. So I'm taking the same petals and I'm just going in between. And what I've been using is what I call the pokey tool. You don't need the sharp point on your pokey tool. You can use just the dull. You can keep the cover on it and use the dull point, so you don't necessarily have to poke yourself with that. Okay. That one needs a little. And then next, I'm going to start, same thing, I'm going to put a little, just a dab of glue on the inside of each petal. And now I'm starting with the 4 little ones, and I'm going to go in between again. So each layer that I do, I'm doing 4 in each layer, and I'm going in between the previous. Okay, and then next I'm going to put a dab of glue in the middle, and I'm going to put the center of the flower. I'm going to hold that for a minute. Okay, so I put another little dab, and now I'm putting the other, I'm just going to cross that so that I have a star in the center to make the stamen. So now I'm just going to set this aside and let this dry for a few minutes, and then I'm going to attach the green leaves to the back. So I'm back, and our flower has dried, and in the meantime I made a little poinsettia. I used 8 of the medium and 2 of the small petals to make a little one. So now let's make this into a card. I have a piece of Blushing Bride, which I have folded in half. I have a piece of Whisper White, so I'm going to attach that to the Blushing Bride. So the trick to using window sheets or vellum is, because it is clear, you want to hide the glue behind where you're putting your major image, because the glue will show through because it is clear. So I'm going to put some fast fuse here, and I'm going to put a little bit here, anticipating that I'm putting my little flower there. With these 2 cards, this is the Pink Pirouette card that I made, and this is the Flirty Flamingo card. I used your gold ribbon behind them. On this one I used the narrow ribbon, and then on this one I used the thick ribbon, and I did the peace symbol, and I used the word peace on that. And so with this one, so if I layer that, and actually put that like that, I really like that. So in the center of the smaller flower, I use the rhinestone jewel instead of punching out the little plus sign from the glitter paper. So I'm just going to attach this. I'm going to stick this little guy in that came out. There we go. Okay, and I want to fluff up my card a little bit, so I'm just going to fold some of these out. So these are my 3 cards. This is with the Flirty Flamingo. This is the Pink Pirouette, and that's using the gold side of the paper, the window sheets, and then this is using the silver side of the window sheets, and this is Blushing Bride, and I did the 2. So thanks for stopping by today. I hope you've enjoyed this. I can't wait to see what other poinsettias people make with this. I love poinsettias. Like I said, that's my favorite Christmas flower. Subscribe to my channel and you'll get a notice every time I post a new video. Take care.